Welcome to FJP Investment Insights with your host, Jamie Johnson. In today's episode, we're going to talk about buy-to-let property investments. Before we delve into this, I would just like to share we've just published a very extensive, in-depth guide to buy-to-let property investing, and this can be found on our website, www.fjpinvestment.co.uk, and then once you're on the site, head over to the blog section and you'll find the guide. What is a buy-to-let property investment? I'm sure most of you are fully aware of the concept, but for those that are not, we'd just like to differentiate. There are many different and often confusing investment opportunities for investors to consider. But the buy-to-let property investment concept is really a simple one. On a basic level, the idea is that you purchase a suitable property for the purpose of renting it out to tenants in exchange for a monthly rental income. And buy-to-let property investments, they're very popular for the very simple reason it represents a tangible asset class comprised of bricks and mortar. And investors can receive a return on their investment from two primary sources: monthly rental income as well as capital appreciation. So you've got the rental income, which comes from the passive income element with the tenant paying the rent. And then of course you've got the capital growth, the capital appreciation, which is the return gained from the value of the property rising over the course of ownership. Once you have purchased your buy-to-let property and you've started to rent it out, you then become what's known as a landlord. And this prestigious title comes with great benefits as well as responsibilities, such as ensuring the property is safe, meets all the legal requirements. We'll go through that later. I mean, depending on your financial situation, savings, investment strategy, your investment goals, your vision, you could either purchase a buy-to-let property outright as a cash purchase, or you could go via a buy-to-let mortgage. Once you purchase the property, after doing all the necessary research, the location, the rental income that you're likely to see, and once the necessary repair work or decorations have been carried out, you'll need to make sure that you've got all the legal requirements are met, such as the gas safety certificate, the energy performance certificate, you've got the fire alarms, the carbon dioxide detectors, and so on. So it's really important to look at the idea of buy-to-let as a business, right? You want to remove all the emotional attachment from doing this and look at it with a business head. Of course, you want to make sure that emotionally it's a good place for people to live, but it needs to make financial sense. So it has to be looked at with a business mindset from the very start. Look at buying, a people-orientated business, and the tenants are your customers. And if you treat them well, keep them happy, they'll obviously treat you well too. A happy tenant is likely to stay, and therefore reduces the likelihood of voids later on down the line. So what's the buy-to-let market looking like 2021 and then of course heading into 2022? Buy-to-let investments have long been an important investment asset of any serious investor for a very good reason, not least because they offer a degree of stability and assurances that other investment assets sometimes don't. The UK has a long-running housing crisis, huge housing crisis, which means there's a huge shortfall in the number of houses required to meet the demand. So that's the main thing. What I would be considering if I was looking as a buy-to-let investor, there's huge shortages, and these shortages aren't being met, which really allows for the basics of supply and demand to increase the rental prices. So that's a big favourable thing. I just want to talk about some of the different types of buy-to-let investments. You've got residential buy-to-let, you've got HMOs, which is house in multiple occupation, you've got buy-to-sell, so just simply coming in and flipping. You've got your student accommodation, you've got your off-plan investing. There's many different segments of property investing. So I'll just briefly run through. So residential buy-to-let, very popular choice for many buy-to-let property investors. Obviously, it's with the buy-to-let option. Many new property investors often start off this way, learning the ropes, finding their way. I mean, it's pretty simple and really a good opportunity or a good option for any portfolio, whether you're newbie or you're seasoned. HMOs, that's where it gets a bit technical. A HMO is effectively where each bedroom is separately rented to different tenants. So let's say it's a 6-bedroom property, it met all the requirements, so you've got the HMO license. But instead of having one tenant, you've actually got 6 tenants because each room is rented separately. But HMOs, if done right, HMOs can be very lucrative. You've got your buy to sell, so flipping. Really, this sort of centers around buying a property, usually one that needs a bit of repair work, fixing it up, and then obviously selling it. This type of opportunity, you've got to have good knowledge. You've got to know your numbers. You need to really have the contacts for the renovation, or at least a good network of people to do it. But if you can get it right, you can recycle your investment capital, several times over a couple of years. So it accelerates the growth of your pot of cash. So it's a good strategy if you know what you're doing. Student accommodation, so purpose-built student accommodation, can often be a good investment, but again, you've got to get in the right location. You've got the UK being a big attractor for university students, both domestically and overseas, and subsequently demand's very high. We've got around 2 million students enrolled at any one time, and accommodation in general, it's improved over the years. And then you've also got off-plan investing, which involves buying a property that has not yet been built. In real terms, this often means that you purchase a property before the construction phase starts. But the benefit of doing so is you're gambling on buying at a discount to the future market value once it's been completed. And let's come on to financing this. It's all about the numbers. So financing a buy-to-let property investment, you've got your solicitor, mortgage lender fees, you've got your stamp duty, land tax, you've obviously got your decorating and repair work, you've got your furniture. Sometimes you're going to need to furnish properties, sometimes not. At the minimum, you may need to put the cooker and the washing machine and a few little bits like that. You've got to get your certificates in place for your gas safety, your energy performance. Sometimes it's service charges. If you're buying leasehold, you're going to need an annual cost to cover the communal fees, the stairwells and whatnot. Ground rent. Let's talk about buy-to-let mortgages. Over the last 5 years or so, buy-to-let mortgage rates have been steadily falling, which really indicates a good time to purchase a buy-to-let property. 5 years ago, the average mortgage rate was 3.99%, and now it stands at about just over 3%, so it's about 3.1%. You've got your buy-to-let insurance, sometimes called landlord insurance. This is insurance to cover the buildings, the contents, as well as the liability to yourself as landlord. Whilst we're talking about landlords, let's talk about the responsibilities. If you're thinking about investing in buy-to-let properties and becoming a landlord, you're probably wondering, what are the responsibilities that come along with that? Well, it's true. There are huge benefits from investing in property, but you've got to be aware of the responsibilities. The landlord responsibilities will depend on the type of property that you're buying, with HMOs having many more responsibilities. But there's a lot of research out there to help you navigate this, as long as you do your research and you don't jump in too quick, you'll generally be fine. So yeah, my view is just doing good research. So as far as tenants are concerned, you've got your buy-to-let property investment and you're ready to start generating that income. All you need now is your tenants, good tenants. But how do you find good tenants? And what criteria is there to help you choose a good tenant? It often helps to have a specific type of tenant in mind. So are you looking for a student? Are you looking for families? Are you looking for young professionals? Each of those have different tastes and requirements that they are looking for when it comes to renting. So it can help that you choose the type of property you are looking for, and of course the right location with the ideal tenant in mind. In addition, you want to make sure things like job stability, as a general rule, you want to make sure that they've got good income, as far as the affordability is concerned, background checks. So there's obviously rental agents that are going to do that for you. Communication assessment. So often it's the first impression that's important. So someone turning up late is not going to leave you a great impression. Someone scruffy, unkept, it's not good appearance, because obviously they're going to be in your property. How are they going to be living if they're going to turn up scruffy and whatnot? Or how are they going to take care of the property? So these are things that you want to consider. You want to also get open dialogue. Your tenant is your customer, so it's important to know your customer, and just encourage open dialogue. If there's any issue, feel free to contact me. I'm here for you, and vice versa. They respect that. But the main overriding suggestion or advice that I can really bring is that you don't rush things. It may be tempting to jump right in and make money today, but that's often where you slip up. So I think it's important to take your time, make sure you tick all of the boxes, listen to your instincts and your gut feeling. If something doesn't quite feel right, then sit down, ask some questions until you're satisfied. It's similar to HR managers who, they do hundreds of interviews. After a while, you get to know people better and you get a good feel for the person you're speaking with. So, like I say, don't rush it. Well, let's wrap this up. I hope that's been useful and food for thought. As I say, head over to our website. We've really put together a huge resource to assist you with understanding what to look for with buy-to-let investments. So I would encourage you, fjpinvestment.co.uk, and then once on the site, head to the blog section, and there you have it. But on that note, I thank you for your time and attention, and I look forward to sharing more with you in the coming weeks and months. Until next time.